podcast hosted by Lord Hood, Lazarus Clay, and Zagreus.
Episode 61, recorded on December 22nd, 2013. Hello, ladies and gentlemen of the world, this is Lazarus Clay, and welcome to The Arsenal, a podcast where we talk about Spiral Knights. This week I'm joined by the one and only Soul Ether.
Soul Ether, yes. It's like the ever infamous.
Exactly. Soul as in sun?
Soul, yes. Latin, it's like Latin for sun, yes.
And is ether Latin? Ether
like,
Latin for anything?
It's like ether. It's like ether itself is the old term Old English for a type of concoction. It's like usually some sort of elixir used for medicine purposes. Very addictive usually.
So are you sun juice?
Sun juice. We can go with that.
Ladies and gentlemen, joining the show today, Sun Juice, Soul Ether. And for the people that are in the live stream, not to be confused with Soul as in Solatron, who is a very different person. Anyways, we're here talking about Spiral Knights type things, and we have a lockbox. Soul, do you care to go through the ordeal of opening our lockbox?
It's like I have plenty of my own, so you go ahead.
Alright then. So, in this week, we've got a key, and we've got the lockbox. We have more... I never changed this, did I? Haha, let's get rid of what was last week. Last week it says, welcome to Winterfest. Filling your ears the next hour. No, we're not talking about Winterfest for another hour. Probably. Obviously you can't get away from it, but no, we just have some new discoveries, and I think Krakow and Thirderwing and Zang were there to help make some new discoveries about Save Winterfest, or maybe you already know about it, and Snakes do. And maybe you already know about how this works. We're going to talk about a way to make the most efficient use of your Save Winterfest running, because there is an efficient and a non-efficient way to do it. And we want to find out the way you do it and what payouts you get, because people are going to get different payouts if they play differently. And we were also going to be talking about the nominated Most Wanted Haze Bomb for 2011, 2012, and 2013, and voted no, it can't be a Haze Bomb because the status is OP for 2011, 2012, and 2013, the Curse status. That is what's coming up in the next hour or so for your podcast all about Spiral Knights. Let's get to it. Zang, how was your week?
So, Medicine, how was your week?
Bud, how was your week? Mission report goes something like this. Alright, so before we get into just discussing things, Mission report is where we discuss what we've been doing in the world of Spiral Knights and elsewhere since last week. So what have you been playing this week?
Well, honestly, I've been trying to game the Steam system as much as possible to get snow globes. So I've been pretty much just turning a whole bunch of games on to drop trading cards. Just, letting them roll for like hours on their own without actually playing them. So that way it just drops cards. And then if I have enough already, I'll just buy like a couple of the other trading cards, get a snow globe, whatever. If not, I'll just sell the extras. So gaming the system a little bit.
How long does it take you usually to get a card to sell on the market?
Depends on the game. I mean, if you've never done it before, then you will have anywhere between like 3 to like 7 drops sometimes, but they'll take like hours.
Right.
And then once you've gotten the free drops, once you've gotten the ones that are there, then that's it. You don't get any free ones. You have to hope to get, the trading packs, which I don't know. They're so much rarer for me. I hardly ever get those.
Yeah,
What I've actually been playing, I've actually played a lot of Starbound.
Game
in beta, and it's pretty fun. I mean, a lot of people compare it to Terraria, but there are reasons for that. So,
indeed, wasn't one of the developers of Terraria moved on to Starbound?
Yeah, it's Ty, T-I-Y, Ty, I think. I don't know the story behind that. Something, I think that they had like some sort of falling out, and like him and It's like Redigit, I think is the guy. They had some sort of falling out, and he went on to start putting together Starbound. I'm kind of enjoying Starbound more right now, anyway, than Terraria.
Yeah, it's definitely got a more variety.
Yeah.
It seems from what I've seen.
Yeah, the exploration in Starbound is really fun. Going to the different planets and stuff. With Terraria, you get your one world, and that's it. You get your, I'm sure that a lot of people here have been playing Terraria, but the point is you get, the one world and maybe a couple different things here or there. And the only point really in Terraria is, fight this boss to get these items so you can make better armor so you can fight the next boss ad infinitum. So it kind of gets boring after, you get hard mode.
This is true.
And then Spawnways, of course, been playing here and there. A little bit of Winterfest. I am kind of on strike from it, but, that never lasts long for me.
Sure.
What about you?
All right.
What you got?
Well, I've been looking into the Steam card thing, too. I want at least one badge. The thing is, I have a profusion of cards that I don't want. I have idled for almost every game I own to get all the cards for them. But when I put them up on the market, they don't sell for anything. Like, they will just sit there forever and not do anything. So I don't know.
Have you tried to sell them now? Have you
Yes.
been trying to sell them now? Because all the prices are up for cards now.
For all cards?
Pretty much.
Right.
Before I could get a card for like 5 cents. Now they're going for like 10 to 20 in some instances. Hell, the Bastion cards were going for like 17 cents a piece, I think. So, it doesn't sound like a lot, but the point is if you sell all of your cards, and you're going to get a decent amount back. Tev's been... She's never actually purchased anything on Steam except for something almost a year ago. And she's just been doing the Snow Globe thing with selling cards from games she has. And she's been buying and selling cards back and forth and managed to get one badge, I think. The one Snow Globe badge already. So,
I think I must look into this. All right. Well, thanks for that.
Yeah, no problem.
I didn't actually get much gaming in. I was working on the Christmas carols that we were going to record today, and I guess I should explain that Lord Hood is off doing family holiday festivities, and Zhang is probably thinking that there's no show today, which is perfectly fine, and so that's why they're not here. But the only game that I got in, I didn't even do any recording this week, but got to run some Winterfest, as I said, with Zhang and with Third Wing and with Krakow. I think was the ideal team that we had running. And it was pretty great. We kind of had it. We started working out a system and getting on voice and just talking about random things, and it was fun while it lasted. I was the first one to leave because I had to go and run some errands, but that was a lot of fun, so thanks to you guys for doing that. I'm trying to think. I also had... Lord Hood and I played Sunday after the show was over, but you've probably already seen the highlights from that because that's up on the channel already on the YouTubes. So, that was fun. Unfortunately, outside of that, not much else. I have kind of been dabbling in a bunch of games that I've picked up over time, and I would recommend that if Sword of the Stars of the Pit ever goes back on sale for like $1 and change, you should get it, because it is one of my favorite roguelites ever.
That is pretty fun. I like Dungeons of Dreadmore, same style, but yeah, I like Dungeons of Dreadmore. But I do have Pit, actually. I've been playing it a little bit, not very much.
Yeah, it's fun. And I finally got my Hearthstone beta key, so I could get looking into that a little bit too. But that's me. So... Snakes, you were Snakes is saying, but you forgot
right.
me.
I have Hearthstone beta too. Forgot about that.
How far into it have you played?
Wait. Hold on. No, I'm thinking of a different game, Stone Hearth. Never mind.
Is there really a game called Stone Hearth?
Yes, there is.
After Blizzard makes a game called Hearthstone? Wow.
Yes, I know. It's pretty odd, but they're totally different games. One of them's... And they're both... Well, actually, Stone Hearth's going to start beta, later this month. But, yeah, it's weird. I don't know anything... As, Hearthstone, I don't know much about. Stone Hearth is a kind of light, skinned dwarf fortress, I think, is the best way to describe it.
That's like someone going out and making a game called Night Spiral about being able to, like, warp time or something.
Yeah, just a different game, but happens to have a reverse name. So
Yeah,
a Night Spiral
in fact,
game with time manipulation sounds like it might be kind of cool.
I don't disagree. Snakes, just want to clarify for your sake. He's saying, you forgot me when we were running. Yes, Snakes was there. He was the one who made us all suspicious, because he's like, look, green packages get you more tokens. And we were saying, no, I'm pretty sure they don't. But at the end of the mission, we all had about 35 of each Winter Wish, and he had 50 of each. And we were like, there's something wrong here. And so, on the other side of this bumper, I'm going to tell you what we discovered.
Overheard at Moorcroft Manor.
From the helmet of someone who likes some creature that prolongs their horn to fight with or something like that.
The helmet is supposed to be resembling to a demon called.
If I occasionally talk to somebody that you can't, hear or see, that's Tev, obviously. Or my little girl, who may assault me at any moment.
Beware Lydia, a wizard who can shout across the internet.
The internet wizard.
Indeed. Okay, well, I misunderstood Snakes then, because he's saying, I didn't say that, I said if you put one box at a time, you get more, which is the discovery that we made. And I guess we misunderstood Snakes. We thought he said grade boxes. Greenlink says, I thought I tried that last year and the red ones were faster. Yes, the red ones are faster. Bring reds over greens. Greens are only valuable if you've got less than, I think it's 40 seconds on the linear map and 30 seconds on the two-pathed circular map. I think is the times that we've determined. But anyways, yeah, here's the thing, and it's not announced, and some people have figured this out already, but in the case that you haven't, this is how the packages work. When you dump one off at the site, it spawns a bunch of tokens around there's a certain spawn area around the drop site that you can put your packages and get tokens. Now, if someone else puts tokens also, it will fill up more of this drop site. Once all the spawning spaces are filled, if you put another package, the wishes will spawn on top of the ones that are already there, and you will only get one, not two. So it is actually faster or more efficient to place one package, everyone pick up all the tokens, then the next person places their package, then everyone picks them up. Because if everyone dumps off their packages all at once, you only get one spawn floor filled with tokens instead of two. So that is why... So the strategy there is if you're running Save Winterfest, either if you're running with pubbies or just friends who don't care to hear your pro strats about saving Winterfest, then just wait around the packages and hang around there until everyone drops their things off. And as they drop them off, keep picking up the tokens, because that's one way you can do it. And the other way to do it is coordinate with people as Krakow and Zhang and Thirderwing and I were doing, where it's kind of waiting for everyone, and we had an order, and everyone was going together, and Krakow would drop first, and I would drop second, and we'd all pick up that way. And that way there was no confusion, and we were trying to respect everyone's time and make sure everyone got the wishes, and by the end of it, we were all getting about 45 of each kind, which is an improvement. So that is how packages work, and that's a pro strat for you if you are running Save Winterfest, is to pick up the tokens before tokens spawn on top of tokens, because you don't get two, you get one.
Oh, okay. See, I got pretty much everything I wanted out of Winterfest like last year, and I don't think there's really anything that different except for the Grinchland thing, so I haven't really been bothering, but it's good to know.
I've heard that from a lot of people. I actually don't have anything from Winterfest yet. Like, I literally own I haven't gotten a single flawed snowball from any... Okay, the rewards from the Grinchland Assault, but I'm not counting that. But nothing else, no accessories, no boxes. I haven't been able to get anything yet, so we'll see what happens. Next item on the agenda is a short one, but this came up this week and someone published it publicly, and this is something that exists. And have you heard of the Guild 21? lockdown-based guild of a bunch of people that are determined to dominate the lockdown scene by hiring all of the best people in lockdown to play on teams and try to... I think the idea is try to dethrone Gempire from the number one lockdown. I don't know if they've done it. I don't think they have. If they have, I think Gempire's always finished the week first, if my Gempire friends are not lying to me. But the thing with 21 is if you beat them, they are kind of stuck up and aren't very nice, and we will have a link to what the Halliday Tumblr posted and about the hate that 21 gives. The words he uses, their model is pour oil on the fire once you beat them. So it's a general announcement that not everyone is like this, but the PvP-oriented people that are in 21 may or may not be worth your time investing in. It's just a warning, because... And on the other hand, don't be a butt guild, are the two takeaways from that. Just want to let you know, because the community sometimes is less shiny and more pig-headed, annoying, weird, dumb. And this is one of those latter moments. And Greenlink says, it's funny beating people like that. Their insults make no sense. It's like, are you so serious about the game that you're actually going to elicit an physical and emotional response on someone? The idea of 21 was to make a PvP-oriented guild that would be tons of fun. As my understanding of it, the idea of 21 was to make a PvP-oriented guild led by Dark Cub to dethrone Gempire. At the end of the day, I believe that's what it was. I may be mistaken, but at the same time, again, be nice, especially in PvP. Don't be a butt guild, and it might be worth your while to beware 21. I know some people in 21 that are fine. I know some people in 21 that I won't actually talk to, nor would they talk to me, but that's because they don't know who I am, and that's fine. Just wanted to let you guys in there, because that came to light this week, and we want to be the best Spiral Knights community that we can, and that is not the way to do it. Alright, now we want to get into the curse status, which a lot of people think is fun, and a lot of people think is terrible, and we want to tell you about everything to do with curse, and we actually don't have everything to do with curse because it's kind of hard to quantify curse. It's easier to figure out exactly numbers for some of the other statuses, but shock is random, so it's hard to come up with numbers for that. Curse is obscure, so it's hard to come up with numbers for that. Also, it's kind of rare, so that's a thing too.
Yeah, I mean, what weapons do... I think, the Grand Faust does curse, and that's about it for players, or what other...
Yes, Faust and Grand Faust are the...
Yeah,
Faust, Grand Faust, and Curse Vials are the only ways to inflict a curse as a player.
Because there aren't any of the shield, the rotating shield things, I forget what they're called specifically. We don't have any curse ones of those. We don't got any other weapons that do curse. So, yeah.
So it is kind of obscure. It's not the status you're going to see the most, but also this is just the proving of the fact that you will never get a curse haze bomb. Never ever. Sorry, just doesn't work like that. Alright, so what is curse? What if I'm a newer player and I don't know what curse is? Curse marks a random selection of the victim's gear, and when that gear is used, the target will take heavy damage. The damage on a player varies from the damage on enemies, and we'll talk about both. The stronger the curse is dealt, and by that we mean the status hierarchy that goes from -6 to 8, which we'll also explain. But the stronger the curse that you are inflicted with, the longer it will last. So you'll see it on the time above your head.
Your little ticker.
Mm-hmm. In addition, the stronger curse is, the more damage it will do, and the more slots it will mark. Now, there is a wealth of information on this specifically, on the slots that it will mark on the wiki. And if you go to wiki.spellknights.com/curse, then they've actually quantified and they know exactly how many slots will be cursed if you become cursed. Now, the wiki uses a scale from -4 to 10. We use a scale from -6 to 8, and if you think about it in absolute value, it's the same 14-point range. It's just that's something to be aware of. Their 0 is our -2, and so on and so forth. It's just the same scale. I don't know who came up with it, but it is a thing. I would have gone with 0 to 28, to be honest myself, but hey. Vial slots will be cursed sooner than weapon slots, and what that means is you will sooner have 3 vial slots locked than 3 weapon slots. And again, vials and weapons. And lastly, your shield bash could become cursed. And the only way to find out whether your shield bash is cursed or not is to perform it.
Really? Huh.
Zeddy tells me that this is true. Yeah.
That is pretty crazy. I hardly ever use shield bash. Huh?
That's true too. Do I ever use shield bash? I use shield bash to get out of a room. Like, that enemies are on one side of a barrier and I want to push through. That's about it. Anyways, the less strong the curse is, the less likely it is that your bash will be cursed, of course, because the more slots become locked. We don't know where the bash lies on this scale, so is there a point where you won't get shield bash cursed? We don't know. It's just kind of hard to test. But why would you use curse? And by that you mean, why would you swing your fust and grand fust at things? Well, monsters randomly take damage from doing anything when cursed, and this includes beginning an attack in some cases. On enemies, curse damage is identical to thaw damage from freeze. And freeze thaw damage is actually kind of significant. And if you remember when we talked about freeze a few episodes ago, we said one of the ways to deal damage to large groups of enemies is to freeze a bunch of them and then leave them alone, go mess with other guys and wait for them to thaw, because they will take significant damage from thawing. Obviously not as much as you shooting at them, but it's enough to mean something. It'll reduce your sword swings, say, by at least a swing. Curse damage is identical, except curse can be procced multiple times when an enemy is cursed. Curse weak victims at the bottom depths can take up to 300 damage per curse proc. So that is something to be aware of. Some enemies are inexplicably immune to curse, including lumbers and Trojans.
Yeah, lumbers, let's say that.
Which is an exception in that all other constructs and fiends can be cursed. And some people are going to run and say, but wait, fiends can't be cursed, and we're going to debunk that in a minute. Now, what about if you get cursed? If you get cursed and you're fully resisting curse, i.e. you have... What are the armors that resist curse? Anyways, you have your full bar of curse resistance. You'll be cursed for a total of 22 seconds and have one weapon and one vial slot cursed. I actually don't know the gear that defends curse. That's on the wiki too, though.
I know Valkyrie does. There's a gunner armor that does.
Probably Deadshot.
Yeah, I think it's Deadshot.
Maybe Deadshot's a negative. I don't know. Anyways, if you're fully vulnerable, you will be cursed for 60 seconds and have everything cursed regardless of your weapon slots. Now, something I'm super curious about that I was thinking about when I was composing these show notes is what happens if you get cursed and then enable a weapon slot. So you're in a mission lobby and you self-curse yourself, and then you self-curse yourself for the full curse and everything gets locked, and then you turn on a weapon slot. What happens? Third Wing is saying yes, probably Deadshot too. You can check the wiki to be sure. Again, wiki.spellnights.com/curse. And we'll actually put the link for the wiki article in the show notes too this week, just because it's actually significant, and we don't want to read it off because it's a bunch of numbers that don't mean anything to you. It's better if you see it. Anyways, curse time doesn't normally exceed that 60-second mark, but some sources, particularly Black Cats and Carnivons, can inflict it for up to 90 seconds, and it's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
That said, the main place you're going to find Carnivons is the Dark Storm. What is it called?
Shadow Vanna. So, and when the Black Cat event shows up, that's pretty much it.
Yes, Carnivons though. Don't forget that on the depth 26 level, the Charred Court, is it?
Oh yeah, and the one room, that one room in Candlestick Keep, is it, or is it? It's a random room, right? One of those that shows
a scenario room.
Carnivon.
Yes. If you're anywhere else, well, too bad. Hopefully your remedy vial, which will help and cure your curse, hopefully that one's not cursed. If it is, well, you can still take the damage to undo it, but that'll hurt. Like, it doesn't take much to get you cursed. Anyways, just don't forget, if you're running Dark Shadow Vanaduke. The fountain where you drop off the sprites cures all statuses when you walk through it, and that includes curse. So if you're running that, touch the fountain and cure yourself, because it's better than running around doing nothing forever. Unless you like running around doing everything forever. Now, a pro strat for if you want to die from curse very quickly is switch to your bomb and just spam the attack button, because every time you lift the bomb over your head, you're going to do curse damage to yourself. And you can die rather instantly. A pro strat to stay alive more is that curse gets refreshed if you get recursed. So that means if you get a weapon cursed, say from a Carnivon breath, you can actually walk out of the breath and walk back into the breath to quote-unquote re-roll your curse slots and maybe get something different affected. So, assuming that you're not getting all of your slots affected, you can actually re-roll your curse slots. I don't actually know if does Carnivon breath do damage, or is it just curse?
I think it does damage too. I'm trying to remember when doing the black cats. It's been a while. I could swear it did damage though.
I feel like it does, yeah. Well, I guess it's a matter of, is that what you want then? Is it reroll or reroll at the cost of damage? Which is actually a great little game mechanic in most games, by the way. Rerolling at the cost of taking damage. Or items at the cost. Benefits is the word I'm looking for, at the cost of taking damage. Curse damage on you, the player, is affected by sword or weapon bonus damage. I.e., it is not advisable to be under the influence of Spark Revive boost, Deadly Cloak damage buff, Black Cat Cowl, and whatever chaos while self-cursed. It's a really, really bad idea, and you will take much more damage than if you were wearing something else. Again, this is damage bonus, not resistance. So what that means is, because the reason I say that is fire, right? We're thinking about the Fang of Vog here, and if you light yourself with self-fire, more sword damage bonus increases the fire damage, but so does having less fire resistance. So if you're wearing full Chaos or Chaos and Black Cat, and you Fang of Vog yourself, you'll take even more fire damage. Here, that's not the case. It doesn't matter what curse you're wearing, though less resistance obviously equals more damage. That's what we just said. And but it's just damage bonus. I guess I'm saying the same thing like 4 different ways, aren't I? Green Link is pointing to the article on the wiki and saying breath isn't marked with any form of damage, so I don't know. Well, I'm trying to see if I can make this a go and find out for us, and we'll give you a prize kind of thing. Maybe we will. If you can be the first one to email us at arsenal@sklelite.com and tell us if Carnivon does damage and show us like a screenshot or some proof, then yeah, we'll pay you something.
I'll give you 100 CE. How about that?
There you go.
Energy. Yeah, excuse me. CE.
Keep calling it CE, dude. It's totally CE still. Yes, it does. And so, send some proof.
Well, Snakes, give me a screenshot, and I will send you 100 screenshots showing the damage. I will be glad to send you 100. No problem.
CE.
CE.
Yes, and I will give you... It's not going to be worth the Shadow Key. What I would give you is... It's probably... I'd hit you with 10,000 crowns across the top of the head. Though it's not going to be worth it to purchase the Shadow Key. So, first person to do that, send me an email, arsenal@sklelite.com, and a picture. We'll get that to you. Now, who do you curse? Status ranges on a scale of -6, which means extremely resistant, to 8, which means extremely vulnerable. This is a scale that the community has developed. The range is this range of status strength is calculated by taking the strength of the status dealt and subtracting the resistance. And this is actually really easy, because the only weapon that directly deals curse damage is the Grand Faust, which is +4 curse. The vials are +6 in tier 3, so that's something to calculate if you are going to be chucking vials. But it's +4, so you're going to take +4 and then subtract any of the numbers we're about to give you, and that will be the final resistance. Again, if you're at if the enemy is at -6 and is as most resistant as he can, it'll be about 22 seconds of curse. At 8, it'll be about 60. And we'll do more damage per proc. So all fiends have 5 resistance to curse, and they can take curse damage. The wiki says that it can't. And no. they can. Sorry. We have proof. Fiends take curse damage. It seems to be difficult to get them cursed, but if they are cursed, they can take curse damage. Trojans cannot. Silkwings can. If you'd like to see something beautiful, curse a Silkwing, and then because the Silkwing is a constant, it's a heal, 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 heal. With curse, that's damage, 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 damage.
There are a few things
Silkwings-
as satisfying as seeing a Silkwing die from curse.
It melts itself, basically. With a set of 300, 300, 300, 300 faster than you could swing your sword and deal that damage. So there you go. Although it's not actually 300. The range of damage taken at the lowest depths from most resistant enemies to least resistant enemies is about 20%. So that will be one swing. At the end of the day, the difference between a most resisted and a least resisted curse enemies at the end of their curse was going to be about one swing of the sword per curse proc. If you understood that, great. If you didn't, it's alright. You can listen to it again if you want. Or come to me at some time and I'll explain it to you with many more words that we don't have time for today. Gremlins have negative 2.5 curse resistance, which means that they're actually good to curse. Curse a gremlin and he'll have the 4 from the Grand Faust minus a negative 2.5, which is 6.5 total. 6.5 is close to 8, and gremlins are hurt badly.
Now, that actually brings me to a question, because Menders, when they put down their circle, the circle continues to do healing with whatever's in it. Now, I've seen where certain, it's like, I think, was it Menders within their own circle, when they're poisoned, will take damage from their own circle. Now, is that also true of curse? Will they take continual damage from curse because their circle is continually healing them?
I cannot give proof of yes, but I would assume no. I can't say either way for certain, but my assumption would be that the same way if we put down a haze bomb, we will take one tick of curse damage for picking up the bomb, but once we set down, say, an Ash of Agni and it starts doing damage, each of those ticks of damage isn't going to damage us in return. And so, in the same way, I think a gremlin would probably take damage from laying down the haze, rune, whatever it is, but probably not from healing from it. I think they would take damage from poison because they're healing, and healing plus poison equals hurt for most enemies.
Well, that's something I'm going to have to take a look at trying one of these days. I get really bored.
If you make any discoveries that are contrary to what I've said, which is no, they shouldn't, then be sure to let me know.
I will do my
so we
best.
can share that with everybody. The Ice Queen is immune to curse, and probably other bosses as well. We haven't tested them all. I think the Snarblacks can be cursed, but I'm not completely positive on that. But the Royal Jelly can be cursed. It may be the dark bosses that can't be. But hey.
I'd imagine that all the Shadow Lail bosses probably can't be. Makes sense.
Yeah, that would be my thought. Though, there is literally no reason to take a Grand Faust or Faust into, what am I thinking? The Rabid Snarblacks run anyways, into a Rabid Snarblacks run. But, hey, there are Silkwings that respawn in the boss room. So fun stuff. Though, at the same time, Blitz Needle works so much better. Anyways, all undead except Howlitzers are immune to curse. This is probably due to the fact that Howlitzers were added after undead, and maybe it was an oversight, or maybe it was intentional. But Howlitzers are not immune to curse. All other undead are. So, yes. Howlitzers, along with most other enemies in the game, actually just have straight-up 0 resistance, and this includes those Mechanites that are so resistant to every other status, it seems, in the world, actually have 0 curse resistance. So, if you're swinging your Grand Faust, there is a slight chance that you will inflict a +4 curse, plus or minus these numbers, onto people. Once again, if you want to see a lot of quantified information about how much your gear will be affected by curse and other helpful information, check out the link that will be in the show notes on our website, sklayleet.com/arsenal, to get to the wiki page on curse, if in the event that you don't know how to operate a wiki on your own. And check out that if you want to be a curse aficionado. Thanks again to Zeddy for gathering this information for us, because he's awesome and just does random things for us and is really helpful. It was one of the things I've said, after episode 50, we should just talk about some of the science stuff that you're always telling me about. And he says, okay. And so we talked about a few things, and then he's like, oh, well, if you're going to do all the statuses here, I'll research all the other statuses for you. And so he's like doing stun resistance right now, and which is next week. And it's like, man, that should be fun. So thanks again to Zeddy for that. Is there anything that I'm missing, you think? Anything else about Curse or otherwise?
I don't think so. Trying to think of anything else, any other weapon, any other things that cause Curse that will be terrible to run into. No, not really.
I'm going to check the actual wiki page real quick and just run through. Oh, Phantoms, of course, deal Curse.
Right.
That's probably something worth mentioning, because in Tier 2 and Tier 3, Phantoms can curse you. And I would assume that it is a +4 curse, because when most enemies deal +4 status, there are some exceptions. But I would assume that it's +4. So that's +4 on you, which, if you have no resistance, is going to be about 33 seconds of curse, 2 vials, 2 weapons.
And I think they're immune too, because I think I've tried to hit them with a curse vial before, and that never works.
Phantoms are resistant to all statuses, so yes.
Oh, okay.
Except maybe freeze.
No, they aren't. You can. I think you can.
You can stab them, but it has to be with a weapon. It can't be with a vial.
It seems that Tev is telling me that you can get them status affected, but you have to do it with a weapon. It seems won't work with vials.
Huh.
Seems kind of weird.
I might test that for Impractical this week. I know Phantoms can be stunned, they can be frozen, but I don't think they can be afflicted by other statuses, so it's your word against mine. I will do some tests this week. The wiki says on the Phantom page, immune to all status conditions except stun and freeze. There you go. But
Okay.
You still can't use a vial to stun or freeze them.
No vials. That's what we're saying. That's the story we're sticking
all
to.
right. That sounds good. So Stagger Storm, Shiver Mist Buster, your way to victory, and don't get cursed.
Ever.
Beware Cursed, because it's a very strong status that deals lots and lots of damage. It can get you killed very quickly.
It will
therefore,
murder you
it will never be a haze bomb. Sorry, guys. Though, if you want, for next week or next episode, since we may or may not have an episode next week, due to it being holidays and such here in the United States of America, give us a transmutation for a weapon that, in a balanced way, would deal Curse. Something that's not the Grand Faust. And send us a weapon idea. Speaking of transmutations, that's what's next.
Transmutations.
Transmutations is where we talk about what we want to see added to the game of Spiral Knights. So, if you want to see curse things added, suggest them to us. You can do that through email. We have a thread on the forums where you can check that out. The link for that is sklayelite.com/arsenal/forums, and you can put in the Transmutations tab. That would be fun. We'll have one idea this week, and then Soul, I'm going to ask you at the end, so be thinking if there's anything you want to see. Or maybe you already have a list. But Snake's S17's idea is... We haven't done that in a while. Snake's S17's idea is gingerbread armor. And he says that this would be part of the jelly set that would be part of the Winterfest promotion. So you could craft it on the alchemy machine. A new element for the jelly set, and it would have normal and elemental defense like the chaos. Just think chaos. It would resist fire and freeze, which I guess makes sense for gingerbread. Weakness to stun, poison, and sleep, because jellies and sleep always go together for some apparent reason. Movement speed increase low, attack speed increase low.
Slooms. Jellies. Slooms.
Indeed.
Like that one
So
time that everybody went on to Tier 1 to do the... the
Starlit Cradle or whatever.
Yeah, Starlit Cradle, because it's the only time we'll get to see it for like who knows how many years.
Well, what it seemed like is when the Slooms did show up, it was part of the Arcade Redux Part 2 or 3 or Part 15.
They did the random assortment in now, so they must have just forgot to take it out.
Yeah,
That was fun though.
doing some.
Glitching like hell. It was fun.
So this armor would offer a movement speed increase low, attack speed increase low, and to counter all of this wonderful, like, middle line, I'll explain that in a second, damage reduction low to everything. So this is kind of between normal armor, quote-unquote, and glass cannon chaos. It's kind of sitting right there in the middle, where you're kind of looking at your MSI, looking at your attack speed increase, MSI being movement speed increase, of course, and damage reduction, along with stun, poison, sleep, weakness, and resistance to fire and freeze. Would I see this if this showed up in the next update and said gingerbread armor, or even if it went by a different name, but something with these stats? Would it be balanced, and would I use it? And the answer is probably yes, because this would pair with the Black Cat Cowl, where it would negate your fire and freeze deficiencies. It would hurt you with stun and poison and sleep, but stun and poison and sleep are the least relevant statuses. It would give me some MSI medium, it would give me an ASI low, and it would turn the damage bonus high from the Black Cat into a damage bonus medium. That would be very worth it.
That would be a little too... Yeah, that's... I think it would be too... It gives you too much broad range stuff, in my opinion. It's too broad. You need to focus it more somehow.
I agree. Yeah, it might be just the way it's set up is a little bit strong. But at the same time, it's a very cool concept. And if something like it, if in a more balanced sense, would be implemented, I wouldn't mind seeing that. I'm kind of looking forward to the new gunner armor that we're going to get, and just new gear.
It's just be nice to see a new set of something, new genuine armor, not reskins or anything like that.
Yes. And I am just now realizing that I did not fill the Spiral Order Recon section with anything. And so what that means is wing it time or skip it time. Is there anything you've seen this week in the world of Spiral Knights related media?
Let's see here.
I would doubt not.
I'll ask Tev, because Tev pays more attention to the media of Spiral Knights than I do.
Bishamil's Gossip put up a bunch of Ian's concept work.
Ian's concept work was all over Tumblr. I think that's the translation I'm getting here. So there was a lot of... Oh, yes, that's right, because there was the early Gremlin sketches, and their old axe design better than the new axe design for Gremlins. I would totally take that axe and just run around with it, beat the hell out of things. Fun.
Yes.
What else? The original, when they were planning the layouts for the idea, they had like jellies and like the floating islands before they really had an idea of that. That was up there too. So those are all from Ian.
Yeah, a lot of concept and pitch artwork.
So that was kind of neat.
All right. Yes, I see it all here. This is going to be in the show notes. It's a link to the Malachim Deviant art page, which is Ian McConville, who is the lead artist for Spiral Knights, and there will be a bunch of stuff. I did see that. I don't know why I didn't post that. Polygon Cherub. Cool guy, that guy. One of these days we'll get him on the show. One of these days we'll get some of the devs of the game on the show somewhere, somehow.
Bribery.
Amelia is running a Christmas event on the Treasure Vault forum.
Okay, and pimping one of Tev's friends, Remelia of the Earth, is doing a contest, right? Just a little event. Okay, it's a little event with a few contests here or there. So if you want to go see that, go to the Treasure Vault.
I'll put up the link.
Tev's gonna put.
Yeah. Yep. I will be looking for that link. Also, man, I've just been either out of the loop or something this week. This is kind of silly. I'm gonna look for that link in the chat. There it is. All right. So the link to that Remelia of Earth will be there too. So 93. I just deleted the last number. All right. Lastly, this is actually news, and we're going to go back to this, and my apologies for not talking about it sooner, but we were talking about the Steam cards thing, and one of the things is, you get one of these if you get a badge? Is that how it works?
The way it works
Iron Wolf?
is... The way this works is that after you get 10 of the cards, of the Snow Globe cards, you can craft the badge. When you craft the badge, you will get one randomly selected. This is if you craft a normal badge. One randomly selected from a set of games item, either in common, uncommon, rare, precious, and sometimes legendary. Yeah, none of the was it precious? I think it was, or unparalleled. That's like the unparalleled. That's the actual last step. No one's crafted any of those, I think, except for maybe one or two in the games that everybody plays. But you don't get to choose what game you get stuff out of. It is completely random. Spiral Knights has 6 items.
Yes.
6 items.
So,
the Iron Wolf helmet.
Iron Wolf helmet armor, Iron Dragon helmet armor. The precious is the Iron Wolf tail, and no one has crafted the unparalleled yet.
We know what that is. Wait. No. Do we want to say what it is? Do you want to know what it is? Do you not know what it is?
I don't know what it is.
Would you like to know what it is?
But sure. Yes.
Okay, it is Iron Dragon wings.
Ah, that makes sense.
See them in the promo image.
Yeah, they're in the promo image, but I just want to make sure because I know how you guys feel about spoilers.
Yeah, well, that's fine, and thank you for that. Yeah, it's actually kind of cool. Of all of the things that have been crafted, I guess it makes sense that all the numbers keep up with each other. But Spiral Knights, yeah, never mind. I'm going nowhere with that. That was a moot point. Just kidding. So yes, you can craft. If you don't know how the Steam badge thing works, there are FAQs and forums and things for that. We're not a Steam podcast, so not going to go into that too much. But play games, get cards, trade cards, get all of a set of cards, and craft badges. Craft the snow badge, which there's a lot of ways to do that, and that's what we were talking about earlier. You get your Spiral Knights items. So,
and hopefully, even if you don't manage to get it from your from the badge, the helmet, it's like the Iron Wolf helmet, the Iron Wolf armor, and the Iron Dragon helm. Those are all really cheap. Like we're talking about under $1. For $2 you could get all of those just straight through Steam. So that's pretty simple if you don't feel like going through the hassle. The Iron Dragon is like at $5. So again, it's all really what you want. You could just get it that much easier. Pretty much the big ticket item is the tail, and of course nobody has the dragon wings yet. So we're gonna see about that.
right.
Also, something Tev just reminded me of. Yes, snakes, you can buy all of them, except for the dragon wings, because nobody's made them. But something Tev just reminded me of. Today is the last day for double matte drop in Krampus, the Grimson's Assault. So this is after they've already increased the drop rate, I think, of things. So right now, yesterday and today, you get double the drops while doing the assault. So if there are people who are masochistic that way, go ahead and do that.
Very much so. And also, because, man, I'm just so out of the loop with the news, if you purchase certain energy prices over this weekend, there are Solstice prize boxes to be acquired too, and those give you unique variant tickets, auras, and crests, and crowns. So you can get Sunshine and, what is it, the Snowfall auras?
Yeah, all the stuff, the snowballs, the Sunshine aura, I forget all the stuff on there. It's the same stuff from the anytime they do the solstice. Yeah,
right. So yes, it's the crest of summer and winter. It's the Sunshine aura and the whatever the winter version is, and the crown.
Snowflake, I think.
Yes,
and then the winter crown and the summer crown.
Right. So energy purchases will get that. Here is a clarifying point. I actually confronted Spiral Knights on Twitter about this because I wanted to know, and they said that Steam is running this thing where if you pay $10 to purchase games, then you get a card for your.
You get a card
Snow Globe badge. Yes. Now, purchasing energy does not contribute to that, even if you're on Steam. That's just the way it is. So, purchasing things and going, ooh, I'll get boxes, I'll get cards, I'll get costumes. Sorry, your thing is flawed. But anyways, there you go. It looks all right. It's the closest thing we have to black armor that Lord Hood wants so bad.
The model for the Iron Wolf is actually the same model for the Winterfest coat, so you look kind of fat in it.
Yes.
The reskinned Wolverhelm though is sweet.
Yeah.
And the set looks great with the
and the set does look pretty good with the Crown of the Fallen.
Well, there you go. If you're
Also,
rich like that.
for a quick reference, just in case, if any of you do get any crowns, whether it be the summer crown or the winter crown, please, please, please do not put them on Snarbalak's helms. They are ugly on those, okay? I don't know how many of those I see all the time. You need to stop.
All right. What was the other thing? Oh, Greenlink. Greenlink, we talked about a post he put on our forums a while ago about conflicting, like, terminology in Sparrow Knights. There's something for you, crowns and crowns. I don't know, did you mention that already? But if you get crowns, well, which kind? There was one more thing, actually, that I'm trying to think of. Oh, that's right. If you're speaking of being rich and stuff, if you are dying for a divine flower, and you are dying from the weight of the millions of crowns on your back, then you can drop 4 million crowns on the AH to get this divine flower that's up there on the featured auction.
It's up to
Assuming
4
it's still
million
there.
Buy it for me.
Oh, you could get it for Tab. That'd be very nice of you.
There you go.
whoever
It is
are.
currently, it has been, once it went up, someone put a bid up early and it's been sitting there right now, and it's at 3696969 crowns. So 3,696,900.
That's got to be an EOS member, and no points for who that EOS member probably is.
Yes. But anyways. Yeah. Anyways, if you have that 4 million crowns and you're dying for that divine flower, I mean, go for it and tell us how it goes, because we'd love to hear your adventure. Hello,
What do you
Lydia.
Okay. She wanted to steal my mic from me, so I must
Well,
oblige.
that's fine. That was Lydia the wizard shouting across the internet. And if you want to, there is we've discussed an initial, we've had an initial talk about Lydia previously. I think she made it into one of our episode title names.
I think so once.
Okay, let me actually put this stuff down in the show notes for the Solstice, Double Drops, and I gotta find the link for this. And Steam cards. Okay, I don't know how I missed all the news this week, you guys. My apologies. Alright, well, we've got some Bazaar banter and things and such. Bazaar. Banter. Third Wing, if you want to see, I'm very fascinated by your wizard thing. Like, develop it and post it in our transmutations thread, and we'll totally share it. Our Bazaar Banter discussion this week, this is where we talk about a line of gear in the game, and we have expired all of the gear currently in the game. We will return to actually talking about gear when the Gunner update hits and we get new things and such.
Okay. I can
We'll
get
go
behind
back
that.
through those. But we have moved on to costumes, and we're talking about those illustrious, ever-coveted stranger hats. Actually, just kidding. One type of illustrious, coveted stranger hats, the snipe stranger hats, and the other ones which can go die in a fire, for all anyone cares, it seems.
Even though you really can't get them anymore, it's like nobody really wants them. So
It's very
the only one
interesting that
anybody
way.
wants is the snipe one, and that's it. You know, because everybody loves birds, obviously.
Loves birds on their heads. You know what they do? They have to go to the bathroom sometime. It starts to build up over time in your arsenal. Just saying. Anyways, these stranger hats come in all varieties of colors. Your color styles, so toasty and volcanic and divine and dusky, etc., etc. The list of all of them can be found, of course, on the wiki, which is a nice little place of sometimes inaccurate but usually dependable information. I wouldn't trust the wiki with anything myself, but hey. And these stranger hats obviously are reflecting the hats of the strangers that stand around in Haven and other places, and so it's like a mining hell hat,
But
kind of
I
sun
think they're
hat.
specifically styled after Basil's hat.
Yes.
I mean,
Not
all of
the,
the strangers
like-
were pretty much the same, but I think they're specifically supposed to look like Basil's.
Indeed. I have, if anyone's buying, by the way, I've got a toasty and a volcanic, and both of them are for sale. I'll just throw that out there. And yes, so there's all the different colored styles, and then there's the special sniped hat, which has a glowing snipe of your prismatic color, of your knight's color, sitting on the side, and everyone wants it, and no one can get it. It was part of a promotion a long time ago, and it used to be part of the Explorers pack, right? And you could buy it just with energy.
Yeah, you could randomly get one, and sometimes at a very low rate, you could conceivably get 2? Could you get 2? No, you would get
I
one.
don't think so.
Oh, there was a glitch for a little while where you could get 2 hats, but they
There was a
patched
glitch
that.
for a while where you got all of them, wasn't there?
I don't know about
The one that
Oh, yeah.
Shui reported?
Was, and
Yeah.
that Shuichi reported that bug, and that's how she got her purple spiral.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There was something where you could get all of them, and somebody reported it and actually got a purple spiral for that. So
Yes, Shuichi. And that
that?
is the
Shuichi, right.
4th spiral artifact in circulation, unless there's a 5th one that went out and I'm not aware of.
Not that
But
I
I think that's...
no, it's been the 4 so far.
So, Dogrock, Tavakia, Shuichi, and whoever the 4th one is, I'm not sure. Owners of the illustrious purple spiral artifact that can't be displayed, and no one even believes you if you tell them, because especially if you don't have your inventory hooked to Steam, then you can't prove to anyone ever that you have a purple spiral artifact, because of course it's just photoshopped,
Neat.
unfortunately. Thus, a way to display it would be much coveted and desired. But anyways, the Explorer pack, which you could buy with real money, has been discontinued. You could get a Stranger hat through that, but it's just because the main basis of the Explorer pack was that it had an elevator pass, which are now moot. So now there's no way to get Stranger hats. As I said, if you want one that's red colored, I got one. But, as Soul said, it seems like no one wants them anymore. Though they look nice. They expose a lot of your face. A lot more than some of the other armors, but there you go. I don't know what we'll be discussing next week, but you can actually find out if you go to the helmets page on the wiki and scroll down to the costumes and see what's after Stranger hats, and whatever's next is what we're talking about. So if you want to give us conversation, that would be fun. Let's have a giveaway for one of those snipe hats, or one of those Stranger hats. That's a good idea.
I got a few, I think, that I've been sitting on, so I don't remember.
Wow,
what,
Green,
so.
Greenlink has a giveaway. Let's do a Christmas giveaway. Let's organize something like that right after this show and record it. That's totally going to be a thing. Let's do that. I'm going to do that. I'm taking the initiative. Anyone wants to join, that's fine. Let's wrap this show up.
Ladies and gentlemen, your unique variants.
What's up?
Also, after Stranger hats are Frosty helms. So
All right. Well, that's right. That
Take
works
it.
out. All right. Well, thank you. So that will be what's next week. So we'll be talking about that. If you have a comment, do it. Tell us what's the best armor to wear with those hats or something, and send that to us. All right. I'd like to. The unique variants is like the show wrap up and also listener contributions. So things, questions, points that people send to us and that we want to tell you guys about. The first one is Song of Guns, and he sent me a message and posted on our forum thread and a few other things. Left us some comments in different places and saying, just saying, Ladison, those videos on YouTube are like an hour long, and he is referring to the episode of the podcast that we upload on YouTube for some people that wanted it. Consider shortening them by uploading them in parts. Otherwise, you're just getting a lot of low-quality views because not a lot of people are actually willing to listen to them, especially when they're an hour long. And I completely understand that, and I completely agree with you. This would be very true, especially for normal videos that people would watch, and that is why all Wheel of Misfortune episodes that I do are divided into about 20-minute segments, rather than hours where they're recorded in. That's why that happens. The other thing, though, is that, I didn't know people would actually use a YouTube to listen. I don't understand why, because if you don't have web access, then you don't have YouTube access, but if you have web access, then there's our website. But people asked for it, and so we offer the service of listening to the podcast through YouTube. I guess some people have YouTube access where they don't have anywhere else to get to it. But this is just an audio podcast for people who listen, so it's not like anyone's going to sit there and stare at the screen the whole time anyways. It's going to be something where they pull it up and then minimize the tab or something and listen to the actual podcast. The reason why we don't split it up is the same reason why we don't split up this recording anywhere else. It's not like we have episode 61, part 1, and then we release part 2 on Tuesday. We don't do that. It's just an hour-long radio talk on Spiral Nights, and so we just want to give you the whole show. Think of it like an hour-long talk show is basically what it is, and so that's why we just leave it as a full hour long. So thank you for the feedback, but probably not going to cut it up the same way we just don't actually split the actual podcast up sub-episodically. So, thank you. But we're going to go ahead and stick with this one. There will be a Christmas giveaway of various kinds, and you could win different things, probably with the most RNG involved possible. And that will be on our forums, which is skyelite.com/arsenal/forums, and I'll probably put a video up on YouTube announcing it too, with whatever we decide to do. That'll be at youtube.com/skyelite. We have our Christmas parodies done, so thanks to everyone who gave us ideas for Christmas parodies. I know some other people are working on theirs as well. We're going to probably maybe have a show next week. I'm sorry, I can't tell you yet. Be paying attention to our social networks and things like that, and we will let you know if we're going to have a show next week. If we're not, then there will be Carol's parodies, and those will get posted, and you can see those everywhere. If we do have a show, well, then you'll hear about it. Either way, you'll hear about it, but there may or may not be a show. So thanks to everyone who gave us parody ideas. We had a little contest going for it. If we used your idea, we'd pay you for it. And so people get paid, and it was good. And that will be about the end of the show. So I want to shout out to Origami Guy 2001, who sent us another set of questions that Zhang liked so much. We will do them the next time all the hosts are together. So that will be something worth listening to, I suppose. Is there anyone you'd like to shout out to?
I always shout out to Tev, because it's kind of a requirement. But it's like, no, it's like everybody else. It's like, let's see. It's like Lat for always hosting this great little show here. We always enjoy your company, hearing you ramble on about stats and lockdown. It's always fun.
Hurrah.
No, I can't think of anybody else right now. Maybe some other time.
All right, then. Well, thank you, Sunjuice, for joining us.
Sunjuice. Sunjuice is always here.
Hashtag Sunjuice.
Hashtag Sunjuice.
Like, if you see Soul in game at the very few random times that it happens, just poke him and say, "Hi, Sunjuice." It's worth it.
And I'd be like, "Yes, I have Sunny D for you here."
There you go. This is the end of episode 61, so tell a friend about us if you like the show, because that's how we get the word out. You can call us at 1-678-322-7765. Find us on Steam, on Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, and YouTube, either as the Arsenal Podcast or as Sklay Elite. You can Google search either and you'll find everything. I assume you know how to use a search engine. That would be great. You can email us at arsenal@sklayelite.com, and our website where you can see all the links scattered throughout this episode at sklayelite.com/arsenal. Did I say that already? Am I going mad? I'm not crazy. I'm sane. I'm not crazy. And you can see all sorts of cool stuff on the website there, including a link to the forums, which one more time is sklayelite.com/arsenal/forums. Thank you everyone for listening. Thank you once again, Sunjuice Soul Ether.
Anytime. It's like, so long as I have a Sunday off.
There you go.
Also, Ladison, I don't know if anyone's ever optioned you for this, but in case radio doesn't work out for you, have you ever thought about being an auctioneer? I think it would be good.
People tell me that. I'll be honest with you. People actually tell me that. People say that you can do that fast voice speaking thing, and I'm actually planning on using it in one of our Christmas carols. It's on the 12th day of...
I think it would be a great use of your talents there.
Well, thank you. Alright, well, that has been us for the week. Thank you everyone for listening, and we will see you next time. Have a good one.
Geared up and ready to go? Thanks for listening to the Arsenal, a Spiral Knights podcast. See links and listen to previous episodes on our website, sklayelite.com/arsenal. Send comments, questions, and audio to arsenal@sklayelite.com, or give us a call at 1-678-322-7765.